What? The screen is dirty as hell. Okay, there we go. What's up, everybody? Leave some comments if you can hear me already. Things lag a little bit. What up, everybody? Happy hump day. I wish I had better news. Some of you might have heard, some of you might not have, but our beloved Quasi Moto got in a pretty serious crash today. So we're going to talk about that. I'm going to run you guys through it, let you guys know how you can help. I did already plan on going live today because we got the Grom here. I got a stunt bar for it that we're going to throw on. I figure that topic has been covered enough that making an actual video wouldn't make sense, but it would be cool to go live and work on it. But yeah, while I was getting ready to do all of that, I started getting texts from everyone about what happened to Quasi. So I figured I would fill you guys in because he is in no position to do that himself for a little while, probably. So I'll do some of the heavy lifting, let you guys know how you can help out. I'll start out by saying he's doing a lot better than he should be doing. So there's that. I also, Fran, have I seen Fran in here yet? Fran sent me a lot of updates. So I'm going to read those off to you guys. I feel like a news reporter because I'm doing this live and it's like late and breaking, not to make light of the situation, but for what it's worth, I've already talked to Quasi and I think he would be okay with me taking light of the situation. I sent him a message telling him that we're thinking about him and everything. And, he said, "Thanks, Mike. Have a good live session. Don't let my mishap be a downer." And I said, "I'll be sure not to let it wreck things too soon." And he laughed at it. So he's in good spirits. That's good. Waterloo, please sponsor me. Okay, so to start off, link to his GoFundMe is in the description. If there's any trolls waiting to point out that I have not donated to the GoFundMe personally, that's because I haven't stopped moving since I found out. But I will, and you should also. Okay, so where is it? So the long and short of things is that I guess I'll start off by saying that if you guys have seen my channel, there's a good chance that you've probably seen Quasi's also. He's another moto vlogger. He's from Texas. He does a lot of stuff with the Rebel 1100 also. He also has a Navi, so lots of our content kind of overlaps. So if you've seen my stuff, you've probably seen his stuff. He's also the one that twice now for my yearly meetups, he rode all the way from Texas and back. I think it's like I don't want to make this up. What is it? A 3,000, 2,000 mile round trip each time. So yeah, he's one of the good ones and something bad happened. So the long and short of it is, if you've seen his channel, he's always talking about the fact that that the drivers in Texas are crazy, and he does his like commute moto vlogs, and you always see people fly past him doing 100, and he's talking about how everybody in Texas drives like an asshole. The short version is that apparently one of those asshole drivers intentionally hit him. That driver was arrested on the scene for I think it was vehicular battery, and Quasi was on his brand new Royal Enfield. What is it? The Hunter that he just got. It's totaled. It is totaled. So late and breaking, the most recent. I don't know if you guys will be able to see, but I'll put up some pictures to show you also. So Quasi posted, it looks like in Discord, the driver was arrested and charged with reckless driving and vehicular assault / battery. I was transported to the hospital by ambulance. I'm still in the emergency room waiting for results. No broken bones, but they are advising spinal injury to my cervical and lumbar areas. Well, folks, RIP to the Hunter 350. A road raging cager rammed me from behind at over 80 miles per hour on I-10. That's crazy. He said the police said it was definitely intentional after reviewing my GoPro footage. So they called the DA to start criminal charges right then. They asked if I wanted to press charges. Yup. Um, he says mostly muscular strain and extensive bruising. Am I reading this in backwards order? No. Mostly muscular strain and extensive bruising, tumbled at 60 miles per hour. Honestly, the fact that he only got off at 60 miles per hour is pretty good because I feel like most of the time when I watch his moto vlogs, he's in big old Texas and everybody's doing like 80, 90, 100 miles per hour. Slipped disc in lumbar spine and bulged discs in cervical area. I'm on morphine drip right now. Nice. Feel like Mike Tyson's punching bag. Tomorrow and the next few days are really going to suck. Yeah, they are. I can't believe that he doesn't have anything broken with all of that, though. Oh, yeah, I was about to say something about his gear, and he follows up and says, Thank God for the riding gear. It definitely saved my hide and probably my life. Previous racing and crash experience kicked in and saved me from worse injury and broken bones. I instinctively tried to flatten out and minimize tumbling as I slid to a stop from 60 to 65. Ragdolling is what causes catastrophic injuries. Shout out the gear because you try and pancake and slide and you're not wearing gear, you're getting your nipples straight scratched off by pavement. Not to be graphic. The crash footage will be interesting to review. I showed it to the police at the accident scene and they all winced and jumped back when they watched it. I haven't even reviewed it yet. That has to be hard for him to even consider looking back at the footage. I can't imagine having a crash like that and then watching the footage back, but um what else? He said it was recorded in 4K 60. So it wasn't just recorded. He straight up did that shit in IMAX. He was arrested on the scene for reckless driving and vehicular battery. He said, I'll be off two wheels for a little while until my back heals. Truck is dead, so I'll be out of work unless I can work from home. Damn. So, yeah, that is crazy. I have some pictures here. He does know that I'm sharing all of this. Hopefully, he doesn't mind that I'm sharing the pictures also. I'm assuming that he's started putting them out there. Where do we want to start? You guys obviously saw the thumbnail on a stretcher with his jeans cut up, strapped down. This is how you know he's in good spirits. Sending selfies from the what's that called? Stretcher. This so listen, I already said, and you guys know I'm the first one to say you don't have to wear gear all the time. Weigh out your risks. I don't wear gear sometimes, like if I'm going downtown or whatever. But if you're going on the highway and you don't have on gear, it's a pretty good idea to, because we already talked about the fact that he just laid flat and slid to minimize the rolling. And that just shows how much gear helps. But this right here, the picture I'm about to show you, if this doesn't prove that gear is important, I don't know what will. And again, like I said, you'll probably see me tomorrow not wearing gear. But if there's one thing that you've always seen me wear, it's a full face helmet. A full face helmet and gloves. I could be in a t-shirt and shorts headed downtown, but I'm wearing a full face and gloves. I could be on the Navy going to the grocery store at 25 miles per hour, but I have a full face and I have gloves. This is his helmet afterwards. Should I just dramatic pause to let you guys soak that in? If he didn't have a full face on, he wouldn't have a full face anymore. You feel what I'm saying? That is, if you have a three-quarter helmet on, or if you have a brain bucket on, you are not making it out okay after that. Freaking crazy. This is the first picture of the bike. Can't really see much. It just looks dirty. But then you start getting into, you can see The lever's grinded down, stuff's all busted up. Windscreen is all grinded. Headlights grinded in. Where did the other ones go? Bar end mirror and everything. So yeah. No bueno. Really, really no bueno. Quasi, if you're watching this, I do have an idea for you though. You could be the first one to rebuild a wrecked Hunter 350. I mean, come on. So yeah, if you're just joining, that is the story of what happened. His GoFundMe is linked below. Looks like that. All that money's going straight to him. One of his friends has already set that up because, like I said, he said he's going to be out of work for a while because his truck is down and out, and he usually takes one of the bikes, but he obviously cannot be doing that for a while. So, yeah. What is there to say? Heal up, Quasi. We're praying for you. Even if you guys can't help with the GoFundMe, I'm not saying you have to, but definitely keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Send him a little message on Instagram. Let him know that you're thinking of him. I think his Instagram is just at Quasi Motard. Let me see. Of course, he's going to be like, why the hell are you doing this, dude? I can't respond to all of these messages, and now you're telling people to do this. Yeah, at Quasi Motard. Send him some love. Let him know you're thinking of him. Go to his channel. Leave his videos playing in the background so he can rack up some money while he's down and out. Oh, his friend just posted or just texted me. He posted more in the Fubar channel on his Discord and a funny face pic. Link or Fran, can you send me that so I can read some of that? I'm live streaming from my computer, so I can't pull anything up without getting away from everything. And I don't Discord. I have a Discord, but I don't Discord, you know? So yeah, freaking crazy. Let that be a reminder that you never know when it's going to happen. And let it also be a reminder to everyone that if you're in a situation and you know road rage is going down or road rage is likely, I'm the first person to be in a car flicking somebody off if they're driving like an asshole, doing whatever. But it doesn't matter who's in the right, who's in the wrong. If it's car versus bike, the car is winning every time. Doesn't matter who's right, who's wrong, whatever. It doesn't matter what happens. Car versus bike, the car is winning every single time. But that's the bright side to having a bike also, is that most of the things that we ride can go faster, go quicker, and stop faster than most of the cars on the road. So whether it's slamming on your brakes and swerving to the nearest exit so they keep going, or whether it's hauling ass to get away from them, no road rage is worth whatever, you know? Sucks to see, but I'm really glad that the person got arrested on the spot, because I feel like lots of people, if they're going to go out of their way to freaking hit somebody off their bike, they're probably just going to keep going. I already got one felony. What's another one? If you can catch me, you know? Okay, cool. Link just said that he'll send the pictures. So, yeah. Also, even though I don't really like live streaming from my computer, this is so nice being able to set it to subscriber only mode so that we don't have all the people spamming the stuff while I'm saying something serious. All right, so we do have a couple people saying that they're late to the stream. What happened? So just the quick synopsis, Cliff Notes version, is that Quasi Motard, who you may know as another moto vlogger, he has a Rebel 1100 and a Navi as well, so lots of our content overlaps. He's also one of the ones that, not one of the ones, he is the one that rode from Texas to Maryland for my meetup twice. So 2 or 3 thousand mile round trip twice for the meetup. He lives in Texas. He was on one of the big highways there, and some road rage happened, and somebody hit him off of his bike intentionally at 60 miles per hour. That person got arrested at the scene for vehicular battery and assault. And Quasi is in the hospital. Nothing is broken, but he has some strained muscles in his back, some bulged discs, and a lot of bruising. And essentially, the next week is going to be hell as all of the bruising um, comes down and everything starts healing. And oh, Link, I already got all these pictures. Wait, no, some of them are new. I lied. I'll wait for him to finish coming in before I start talking about stuff I don't know. But yeah, so nothing's broken, thank God. But he, I just got this picture. So he's in good spirits at least. All right, we got some more pictures coming in. Once my notifications stop going off, I'll show those to you. So yeah, that's the short version. He's good, but the healing process is going to suck, and he's going to be out of work until he's able to ride again because his truck is out of commission at the moment. So the GoFundMe is linked below. I feel like this is kind of what the motorcycle community is all about, is helping people out when stuff like this happens. And I don't have health insurance because I'm a broke wannabe YouTuber that spends all my money on things for the channel instead of health. But open enrollment is coming up on November 1st, I think it is. So this should probably be my sign to get some health insurance, huh? Okay. Let's go through some of the pictures that Link just sent and see which ones we missed. It's coming through all wonky because he's not an iPhone user. Unreal, dude. Yeah, so here's a newer one. You can see lots of the damage from before, but you can kind of see like the full picture now. The headlight being scratched, the tank, the bars, the bar end, the mirror, everything. Um, yeah, you can see the foot peg and the seat all scratched and bent up. God, nothing worse than beefaroni burp. Oh, damn. The whole the whole screen of his dash, the whole like cover of it popped off. Nina, you better watch your mouth before I come back there and teach you a lesson, woman. Yeah, on top of everything, I say on top of everything as if this is even comparable to what we're talking about, but Nina has been sick for a few days and she's back locked in the room because she's coughing and sneezing her face off, and you guys would just hear her in misery in the background. Turn signal smashed. Oh, yeah, here's a better view of the foot peg all bent up. Looks like the bracket's actually broken. Yeah, that jaunt's totaled. And it doesn't take much to total these things either because they're so cheap, but that jaunt is totaled. Damn, yeah, another closer view at the full face. If you've just joined the chat, I was saying already that I am probably more lenient with my gear than most people. I like to weigh the risks to decide whether I'm wearing a jacket or not. Um, But regardless, even when I ride in shorts and a t-shirt, I'm always wearing a helmet. And here's another better view of the helmet. And by helmet, I mean I always wear a full face. No questions asked, I wear a full face. And you can see the entire front of it is ground down. And then the sides of it the whole jaunt. And none of that would really be covered at all by anything other than a full face helmet. Looking like a freaking science experiment. Respectfully. Ooh, yeah. Got some road rash on the knee. Link said typical iPhone user complaining about Android. Um, I feel like Mike Tyson's old used up punching bag. Tomorrow and the next few days are going to suck. The doctor prescribed a bunch of narcs, muscle relaxers, and anti inflammatory meds. You know it's bad when the doctor says you definitely want to take these meds for the next few days because your back and hips look bad. Damn. So, yeah. There's a story for those of you who didn't know. I'm sure that whenever he's feeling up to it, he's going to put out a more in-depth video of his own talking about it. Who knows? Maybe we'll see the footage of the accident see the light of day at some point. But yeah, we're thinking about you, Quasi. That sucks. That's crazy. Hashtag justice for Quasi. Hopefully that guy is still sitting in jail thinking about how much of a piece of crap he is. And yeah, everybody hit up that GoFundMe. So yeah, now let me first comment I see, Spaztech said helmet and Vans with a laughing face. I bet my Vans, actually this is a good point. Watch this, just for shits and giggles, because everybody talks shit about me wearing Vans. These are riding shoes. These are Nina's riding shoes, built by a riding shoe company. It has ankle protection, but still flexes. I don't even want to take, actually, I guess I can't take my shoes off. Mine are firmer than that. Actually, you know what? I'll do it just to prove a point. Just to prove a point, huh? My Vans barely flex, and the sides are harder and firmer than that, all right? So literally everyone, oh, why don't you, and I'm not saying this is just the one person who commented. It's mainly anytime I do anything on a dual sport, all the old dudes are like, why are you not wearing full boots going through the woods? Because I have literally thrown myself on a bicycle down a flight of 14 stairs in a tank top, Vans, and shorts and exploded at the bottom of the stair set and been fine. I have gone mountain biking and jumped freaking 30 feet to flat wearing Vans and been good. I go to freaking cycle gear and my Vans are more durable than half the freaking shoes that they have there. And that's my argument against gear also, is that, like I said, I weigh my risks for gear, and I am 100%, I am team, I'm safer the more comfortable I am and being able to actually use my full range of motion and look places than I am being in a leather jacket where I can barely move my head to look over my shoulder and whatever. I still wear full gear, leathers, and everything when I do highway trips, but aside from that, it's really not needed. And I will die on that hill. All right. Well, everybody send Quasi some well wishes. Everybody send Moto Dash some well wishes also. His what do we call it? The meat leg. His meat leg healed up. Thank God. I'm sure you're still going through some stuff with that, but crazy. Just glad you got to keep your meat leg. All right. Well, we're thinking about you, Quasi. We love you, Quasi. Everybody check out the GoFundMe. And now, let's work on the Grom. Anybody have any? Okay, I'll go over it one more time, though. I was about to say, if we have any newcomers, I'll go over it one more time. And I just saw Dr. Dread, Man of Mystery, say, "What the hell happened?" So I'll give you guys a quick Cliff Notes again, and then we'll jump straight into it because I know some of you guys have heard this a couple of times. So essentially, Quasi Motard is every time I say this, I'm like, am I saying it the exact same? Does it sound like an elevator pitch? But Quasi Motard, he's another moto vlogger that has the Rebel 1100 and Navi, just like me. If you've seen my content, you've probably seen his because ours overlap a whole lot. He's ridden from Texas to Maryland for my meetup twice. Super good dude. And somebody road raged today and hit him on his bike intentionally doing 60. He came off the bike, got pretty tore up. The guy who hit him was arrested on the scene for vehicular assault and battery. Quasi Motar didn't break anything, but he has some herniated discs, bulging discs, lots of bruising, pretty worse for the wear, but somehow didn't break anything. He does not, his truck is not working. He's ridden everywhere anytime that he has to, but now he can't. So he's pretty much out of work until either his truck gets up and running or until he's good enough to ride, which who knows when that will be. And his brand new bike is totaled. So GoFundMe is in the link in the description to help out him and his wife and his kids while he can't work. And that is the synopsis. Shout out Quasi. Derek said, is there a link to the GoFundMe? Yeah, the GoFundMe link should be in the description. Let me double check to make sure that I did put it there. I might have only put it there when I tried to do the it on my phone. Now there's an echo as I hear myself talk, but yeah. Now there's an echo right there. Myself talk, but yeah. That echo is wild. So yeah, link is in the description to help him out. Yeah, that's what the riding community is all about, is coming together in times of need. All right, so praying for you, Quasi. Now let's go on, do some work on the Grom. Link says, what are we doing to the Grom today? Well, as I was just saying that I don't have any health insurance, we're putting a stunt subcage on the Grom. So it'll mount up right here for doing wheelies. So if you're unfamiliar with stuff like this, it'll mount up. These pegs are so you can stand on them and do tricks, but also it'll protect the bike if it falls over. And then back here is a little place for your foot so you can stand in it while you're doing a wheelie. And so that if you loop out, it doesn't break the tail light. It'll hit this first. And damn, the beefaroni, dude. And we have the titanium block, which when you're doing your dank nooners, your 12 o'clock wheelies, it'll scrape the ground and shoot out sparks. Unless you're like me and your wheelies end with the 12 o'clock bar being a foot away from the ground still. But we're going to learn. So essentially, I've already started doing it just to make sure that everything would line up while we did this. I've seen a couple people now say that this is technically his third accident this year. Am I just not remembering the other accidents? What else happened? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Honda Pilot got taken out. I remember the Honda Pilot accident. For those of you not in the loop, he was in his Honda Pilot. He didn't get hit by a Honda Pilot. And then PCX got pulled out in front of. I don't remember somebody pulling out in front of the PCX, but I do remember him going down on the cannonball. I totally forgot about that, though. Damn. Damn. Oh, K-Matt's daddy said, you getting the new NBT over shirt to show us? Yep, they're sending it to me. Should be here soon, hopefully. Super stoked to check that out. TJ, when I finally do get my bike, I'm definitely getting NBT stuff for myself and my fiance on her bike too. Do it. NBT, honestly, that's actually a good time to mention it. If it weren't for NBT, I still wouldn't be wearing gear. People have given me crap for this in my review that I did about those jackets, where I said something about like I love what they're doing, making gear for people who wouldn't normally wear gear. But that's just how I see it, because that's how it is for me. I never wore gear before. You were lucky to see me in jeans instead of khakis, you know? Like I said, I always wore a full face and gloves, but I never wore riding pants or a riding jacket because it's so uncomfortable that I felt safer not wearing gear so that I could actually have full range of motion and like actually be able to move the bike however I needed to. It wasn't until the NBT stuff where I saw, oh, wow, this actually doesn't feel like gear. It's so comfortable that I can just wear it, and it doesn't feel like I'm wearing gear, but I'm still protected. And there's so many people that are like, oh, but wearing leathers is so much better. Listen, dude, I'm not wearing a freaking leather race suit when I'm taking the Grom to the grocery store, but you know what I am going to wear? An armored flannel, you know? Like, I'm not going to wear a leather jacket when it's 80 something degrees outside because I can barely move and I'm going to have a heat stroke. But you know what I am going to wear? The riding pants and the riding or the riding flannel or the riding hoodie. Is it as protective as a leather jacket? Maybe not, but it's a whole lot more protective than my freaking t-shirt, which is what I would be wearing if I didn't wear that stuff, you know? Rant over. Use code what is it? I don't even know my code. Use code Birch for 15% off on nbtclothing.com. Is that what it is? How do I not know my own code? Use code Birch for 15% off at nbtclothing.com. And you can use code LifeOfBurch for 10% off Quad Lock. And you can use code LifeOfBurch for 5% off Scooter Swap Shop. If you don't know, go to lifeofbirch.com. You can see all my discount codes there. Add over. Okay, well, we got any questions before I start throwing this thing on the Grom? Any questions you've been dying to know? Waterloo, sponsor me. All right, no questions. So we're going to start doing this. It's going to be a little bit difficult, though, because I wanted to go live on my phone so I could be showing some of this. And then I went live on my computer so I could do subscriber-only mode. So, okay. I'm just going to hold my laptop and show you guys or something. God, my drawers. Okay, so I used to have the license plate bracket right here. That has to come off for the 12 bar to go on. It would have worked with the 12 bar. I just had to drill out the holes because the bolts for the 12 bar are so damn big. And then the bracket caught on the drill bit and bent up, and it'll never work again. So we're not doing anything with the license plate tonight. I think I have a way to ghetto rig the bracket. Otherwise, I'll just get one of the universal ones off of Amazon. But where we're at so far, how is this going to work, dude? Holding my entire computer. So it'll mount up here and down in here. And I've already, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I've already drilled the holes out super big because my computer came unplugged. I don't even know what I did with the bolts. But the stock bolts that went there were super duper small. And because the 12 bar, the hell's that angle? Because the 12 bar is so burly and has to hold up to so much, the bolts are super big. So I've already drilled those out with a 7/16" carbide drill bit. And then I took some touch-up paint and I painted where I drilled to get it all nice and sexy and sealed up. And now we're going to put this on. I will say, I don't know how well it's going to go because the nut is so big that I can't really see how I'm going to get space in there. But where there's a will, there's a way. First things first, though, I'll come holler at you guys and put the titanium on. What do we got going on in here? Later, TJ. Yeah, Link, if somebody was like watching through my window like a creep, I would have looked crazy carrying the computer around like that. Yeah, use it as a pull-up bar. What is that in metric? So it is actually funny you asked that. It's an M10 bolt, which needed a 7/16 inch jaunt to go through it. Ride of a Lifetime said, LOL, the nut is so big. That's what she said. Got him. All right. Why did I do it that way? It made so much sense in my head, and then in reality, it didn't. All right. Anybody got any questions for me? Little Q&A action like we normally do. About any of the bikes? Life advice? What kind of tacos you should get? What came first, the chicken or the egg? I thought I just dropped that on the carpet. What is the meaning of life? Nina, you are tripping balls off cold medicine back there. You stay in your cave and let the men talk. Somebody's going to be, I can't believe, I didn't know Birch was an asshole. Oh, yeah, Link. Link is sacrificing for those of us with the XR150. He's letting TST Industries use his bike to mock up some parts for it, which is going to be awesome. Probably a fender delete, some lights and such. Mark Ebrio said, does it have to be bike related? No, it does not. And you're the one that sent me the drawing of myself, right? The Simpsonized one? Ooh, I almost dropped that. Because that thing is awesome, and it's in my office. I'll give you a free plug. Mark Ebrio Art. Is that it, right? On Instagram? Everybody go check that out. If you didn't see it already, he drew me as a Simpsons character, and it's freaking dope. Mike Rivera, what's up, buddy? Any more Rebel stuff? Ever or... Ooh, did I just... Thought I stripped it out, and I was like, there's no way that happened. Why did it get easy so quick? When it goes from righty-tighty to righty-loosey? Damn. Any more Rebel stuff? Yes, I still have to put the front suspension in. Been slacking on that hard. I still have the power commander that I have to get tuned. That hasn't been slack. That has been I'm too broke to get it done. And DynoJet hasn't responded to me about sponsoring the dyno tuning session so that I can put I want to get it tuned and then be able to put it out there for anybody else that has the same intake and exhaust. But they haven't gotten back to me. And then what else? There's always Rebel stuff going on. I kind of ignore it because it just gives me problems every time now. I feel like every time I touch it, something else is wrong with it. And I've been having so much fun with the CL500. Actually, that's a lie. That's a lie. I'm doing a day trip on it next Tuesday on the Rebel. When is my next meetup? My next meetup is going to be next spring. Lots of people have been asking me about that lately because historically my meetups have been in fall, like around this time. But if you remember earlier this year, I did my spring meetup and I wasn't doing that so we would have a spring and fall. It was just this is the first year where it switched to we're only going to do it in spring now. So next one will be spring, end of April, beginning of May. Seems like the sweet spot to make sure the weather agrees with us. Oscillocosylocinium. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I agree. I forgot that stuff existed, but I've used it and it works great. Nacho cheese or Cool Ranch? Get these questions out of here. If you're not a Cool Ranch person, unsubscribe. I wish I could check like exactly at the minute marker for when I lose subscribers. I lose like 5 diehard nacho cheese guys. Cool Ranch all the way though. Mike said, when are we coming back to Tennessee? Whenever we're not broke. Really, that's it. We want to do a trip where we go to Kentucky. So we'd probably try and swing through Tennessee when we did that. Moto Dash, you live in Tennessee now? What the hell? Matt said, gotta use those double back pegs. Listen, I might have no idea what I'm doing, but I will not be a double back peg guy. All right, I gotta have stees. Cut scene. It's me just tumbling down the road. Keith, I've been the biggest slacker on getting a quad lock, but since you have a code, I'll grab one. Let me know when you're over in Frederick. We got to ride around. I'm going to be in Frederick at the end of this month getting tattooed. I don't know if I'm bringing the bike or not, though. It depends on what the weather's going to be like, but I'm getting tattooed. Damn, in like actually a week and a half, I'm coming to Frederick to get tattooed. Paolo Hayabusa, thoughts? Rocket ship mixed with couch. I want a Hayabusa. So I don't want a Hayabusa, but I want a sport bike. But the issue is that I'm not a sport bike channel. So I know that people wouldn't really watch it at first. So I had to think, well, how can I integrate sport bikes in a way that people will like? A series called Busas and Papusas. I'm always getting tacos and pupusas, busas and pupusas. Taking the Hayabusa to get Hispanic food. Why not? Yeah, Dr. Dread unsubbed. I wish I had a bag of Cool Ranch that I just like could pull up from right here and start eating. All right, so Moto Dash had a good one though. He said, "Oof, so serious Q&A. Would you / have you thought about selling the Rebel 1100 soonish?" Yes, I have, which is crazy to say. I don't think I ever would. I don't think I ever could. But I really have, like, I've talked to Nina more than I'd like to admit about the potential of selling the Rebel 1100. I couldn't now, and I don't know if I could ever bring myself to, but it's just, I don't know. So lots of it is that, and now granted, I say this, but then every time I ride it, I'm like, oh yeah, that's why I love it. I can never sell it. How do I put this? I've never been a cruiser guy. I've said that constantly. I am not a cruiser guy. People are like, "Oh, you have a Rebel. Why don't you get this Harley or that Harley? Why don't you get, oh, have you tried this cruiser or that cruiser?" No, cruisers are boring. I don't like cruisers. I don't like cruising. I don't like long trips. Cruisers are whack. I just like the Rebel because it doesn't feel like a cruiser. But then I rode the CL500, and that's what opened up my eyes to like, damn, I really am not a cruiser guy. The style of the CL500, the riding position of the CL500, the riding capabilities of it as far as being able to go off-road and on-road. My biggest thing is now Honda has the new Hornet and the Transalp 750. If and when they make a CL 750 or a CL 1100 with either the Transalp motor or the Rebel 1100 motor, essentially, the Rebel might actually be in trouble. But I say that but nothing will ever be as convenient and as do everything as the Rebel. Like, there's not a single bike that I have or could think of that could literally do everything. It can be sporty, it can be a cruiser, it can have saddlebags, it can do hooligan stuff. I've taken it off road, everything. So it does everything. But every time I ride the CL500, I'm like, this riding style fits me so much better than the Rebel does. But then I ride the Rebel 1100 and I'm like, oh yeah, there's the power. There's the versatility. There's the saddlebags. And I ride the CL500 and I'm like, oh, I love it. And then I get on the highway for more than 20 minutes and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. I really wish that I had the power that the 1100 has so that I don't have to downshift and I can still fly around people, you know? So unfortunately, I have, and I'm gonna be honest, if I didn't have as many problems with the Rebel 1100, I probably wouldn't even be having this thought. But it's just, I am so over every time I ride it, worrying about whether oil's gonna drip out or coolant's gonna drip out. And it's an easy fix. It's a water pump, but it's like, why is it happening in the first place? Am I gonna replace the water pump and then there's gonna be something else? And the spot on my frame looks like crap because it rusted and I put some freaking whatever coating on it. And but ask me that question again in a week once I do the day trip on it, and I'll probably have a totally different answer. So who knows? I still love it. I still love it a lot. Oh, and Honda usually announces the cruiser updates for the following year, end of October to end of November, somewhere in there. And it's been 3 years with this Rebel 1100 setup. So I'm curious to see if there's going to be any updates to the Rebel 1100. Actually, you know what? Here's what I'll say piggybacking off of that. I have put serious thought into making my Rebel 1100 only my like day trip type bike, keeping my mini motos, the XR, the CL, all that for hooligan off-road stuff, and keeping the Rebel for day trip stuff. But I have seriously considered, which is crazy to say, but I've considered trying to find a 2023 DCT in that green color and swapping all my parts over to it and starting over fresh with a bike that doesn't give me fucking problems, and have a DCT to just do just day trips type stuff where if I'm sitting in traffic, I don't have to worry about it. But then I think about that and I'm like, all the money that I spend, I could, like, all the money spent and the time spent swapping everything over, I could just quit complaining and just treat the Rebel 1100 like the piece of shit that it's become and beat the brakes off of it and continue doing whatever. I just, it's the first brand new bike I've ever bought, the most expensive thing I've ever bought aside from like my house, whatever. So like it, for quite some time up until recently, I've like had it on this pedestal where I want to keep it perfect and whatever. The CL500 is the first bike that I bought brand new where I've been, actually that's a lie. The CL500 and the XR, I got over that little hump and I said, screw it. I'll beat it up. The first ride I took the XR on, I dropped it. The CL500, the first long trip I took it on, I'm riding through bushes and shit, getting it all scratched up. The Rebel 1100 I babied when I first got it. So I still view it as like my baby. So the fact that it's all jacked up hurts my heart, you know? That was a long answer. Oh, and I'll finish with this. I also get bored of things quickly when there's nothing to do with it. I've done so much to that bike and there's still stuff I want to do, but it's like the aftermarket just kind of froze. So like I still want the ECU actually flashed. I don't want the piggyback uh the power commander. I don't want the piggyback power commander. I want an actual flash. Like I look at all the dudes getting like R7s and stuff like that, and it's like as soon as they came out, they had flashes. Granted, yes, the MT-07 existed before that, and but like there's legit flashes available for the Africa Twin. So why are these companies not making it for the Rebel 1100? Like it's like the Aftermarket put out a bunch of stuff for the Rebel 1100 and then forgot about it and moved on. And I'm like, I still want to do stuff to it, but nobody's making anything for it, you know? Whereas the CL 500 has been getting my attention because it's a new bike. So companies are still like, oh, we got to make stuff for it. And it's nowhere near where I want it. So I can keep working on it, you know? Quasi's here. What's up, Quasi? He can type. I guess you don't type with your hips, huh? Wait, don't answer that. Oh, man. What you drinking tonight? I'm drinking some lemon lime Waterloo. Delicious. All right. Everybody chat with Quasi and see how he's doing while I start throwing this junk on and see how it works. Bruised and battered, but still breathing. Freaking crazy. Quasi, I was saying that you need to do a something doesn't feel right about me like being in like friggin' on all fours and dog stance on a friggin' live stream. Feels weird. Anyway, Quasi, I was saying that you need to do a rebuild series while you're down and out. You got to profit off of it, you know. Do a rebuild series on the Royal Enfield. Which one do I want to do first? Okay, it's kind of on there. Freaking crazy. Ugh. Man, drinking a carbonated drink after eating that beefaroni was not a good idea. I keep beeping up burf. What am I burping up beef and lime? All right, Link, you're going to get a kick out of this again because I'm picking up the camera to show you guys. On the Grom, I don't know if you can see it or not. Why am I struggling so hard with trying to show you? You see my finger going in there? It's like an opening in the frame where nuts and bolts can just fall in. So I'm going to put some tape over it so that does not happen. Quasi, do you think you're ever going to post the footage of the crash, or how long do you think it's going to take you to even be able to watch it back? I feel like that's probably pretty jarring. Something's so funny to me about the fact that Nina is literally in the bedroom in the back, but she's watching me. Repairs would cost more than it's worth. Yeah, I was saying something about that. I'm like, that's one of the things that sucks about us loving our small, cheap bikes is that you can sneeze on it and it's totaled, you know? Y'all are wild. Okay. I'm doing this, but I still don't know if we're going to be able to tighten it down like this because the space in there is so freaking small. Yeah, if I did not put that tape there, that would have just fallen in right there. Okay. Got everything mocked up. Hell yeah, brother. Yeah. I can't wait to look like I know what I'm doing and then not actually. Yeah, I'll review the footage tonight or tomorrow, then decide how much to post. Honestly. Well, I guess actually, no. I'm like thinking partially out loud, but if he got arrested, I wonder if it makes a difference how much you post or if you should like hold off until whatever court thing is over or something like that, you know? Like right now, the ball's in your court. God forbid somehow he sees the footage and then his lawyer's like, oh, we can use that right there to prove that you didn't do it on purpose, you know? Maybe I just think the worst in people sometimes and that wouldn't actually happen, but that would suck if somehow he saw the footage and his lawyer, assuming that he can afford one or gets one, uses it against you. But hey, you know, I'm always thinking business minded. That's a good title. Now that the court case is over, here's my crash footage. Make back that money. Intentionally rammed you at 35 plus mile per hour overtake. That is so crazy. So ridiculous. All right, how am I going to get this tightened down? Anybody have any suggestions? I can't even see what I'm looking at. Where's my damn? I don't want to put the nuts on the bottom. I want the nuts to be in here. But do you see how little space there is around them? The socket doesn't fit between the nut and that little sidewall. So I feel like I could just use some like pliers or like adjustable wrench or something that like I can finagle a little bit better. But I don't know what's going to fit in there. And I switched them out to nylon lock nuts so it won't spin as easily. Do we got any real mechanics in the chat? Any real mechanics in the chat? Yeah, so I have pliers and I'm going to try those, but the thing with that is that you can't get the nut held in place as well. So I don't know how well it'll work. I can't see shit. Go to my Patreon so I can have a garage, please. That's not going to hold at all. Yeah, it doesn't fucking hold. And like, I feel like I could wedge something in there, but then I feel like it'll never come out. And this won't hold. Wait, will this hold at an angle? Maybe if I don't use it to tighten it. Hell yeah. I don't know what I'm going to do about those back bolts. It'll at least hold it in place. Ooh, this side won't though. Kinda. That's kind of working. Yeah, I do not have a thin wall socket. And they did not have any at the store. Wear slight when you need them, yeah, for real. Nina said, someone make t-shirts that say pliers and pray. Trust me, I'm a mechanic. Chillum from Quasi Moto, what up? Am I pronouncing your name right? Chillum? That's how I've always read it when I read it. Either way, whether I'm pronouncing it right or not, everybody say hi to Chillum. That's who I talk to every time I get my Quasi Moto stuff. All right, let's see if I can get this to work. I don't have super big faith that it'll work, but only one way to find out. Maybe I can get the bottom ones on and then try and find a thin-walled socket tomorrow for the back ones, since I have to figure out a license plate bracket anyway. Yeah, see, that's working. For the bottom ones anyway. Okay, Chillum is correct. Every time I say that, I think I'm just saying like, oh, he's chilling, you know? Nina said, I fear the arrival of a Snap-on truck every day. You think I got money for stuff on a Snap-on truck? You crazy. I also think it's so funny that I'm saying this, but she can literally hear me in the room right now. Okay. This is working. Yeah. Yeah, that'll do. Ow. That won't. I don't think this is fitting in no matter what I do. Nope. Yeah, those back ones are a lost cause unless I have the thinnest walled socket in the world to do it. Somebody said that's what she said. What did I miss? Reminds me of working on something. Yeah. Sucks. It would be better if they just made the bolts, or I mean the nuts, so big that they were just wedged in between these things and couldn't move, you know? Like there's no way I can grip it. Maybe. But then, like, what's the point of me even doing this if I have to put a license plate bracket anyway?
Sorry, I'm sneaking in.
I know it sounded like an 80-year-old man just came in frame, but that was Nina. That's her sick voice.
Hi, guys. I'm just making tea, and then I'm going. Good to see you all.
Okay, that worked. I don't know if it'll work the same when I have to take them off to put the license plate bracket on, and I don't know if this one will fit. I got so distracted by your voice, I didn't even hear what you said. What are you're making tea?
Yeah, making bear flu.
Probably a good idea. Gosh, dang it. Oh my gosh. I don't see any world where this is going to work. Except for this one. Because it worked.
They're trolling out of me in the comments.
Really?
Yeah.
What are they saying?
They sound like a man. Be nice. I'm sick.
She's going through it. Wow, sometimes I can do things. See, I told you it was for the best for you to just stay locked in the cave.
I know, but I'm like, literally, I cannot stop sneezing. I'm like, if I don't take medicine, I don't know how long you're going to be doing this. So I'm like, I have to.
Yeah, that jaunt is on, boys and girls. I'll have to undo everything and redo it tomorrow when I figure out a license plate bracket. Or I could just not ever put a license plate on it and be a criminal. Hulk smash these down. Boom! What do we think? Shazam! You have 13 mil bolts on yours? Mine came with 17 mil bolts. Therein lies the issue. Look at these freaking things. Maybe that's why I didn't know that I had to drill mine out. All 4 of those holes I had to drill out big as hell. $17 milli vanilli. And I swapped them out for nylon lock nuts just to be safe. And those are 17 mil also. No drilling on yours. Let me just say, I intended on doing this live stream at 4 o'clock today. And I went to like line everything up beforehand to be like, oh, is this going to work out okay? And then I looked and I was like, that doesn't seem like it's going to work. And the front ones, I barely had to drill out. The back ones, though, like whatever size it was on the back, it the nut for it was a 10 mil. And it got replaced with something that has a 17 mil nut. Yeah, I 100% got the right one if I had to drill. There's nothing else that this would fit. The OG and SF Groms both use, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure though. I'm pretty sure the OG and the SF use the same 12 bars. And then the new 23 plus 12 bars are totally different. They come down and they mount down here because the new Groms have like the different mounting points here. So I don't even think that there's a thing where it could be the difference between like they sent me an SF one instead of an OG one, because I'm pretty sure they just mount the same way. Single-sided swing arm mod. Check it out though. Let me put the seat on so we can really see how it looks. Let me get the wires out of the way that I moved. Oh, it did lock. Boom. Oh, yeah. Yeah, so that's why I don't think I said anything about it in the first video where I showed the Kaufman's exhaust. But that is why I got the Kaufman's exhaust, because I wanted a low mount, because you can't find any 12 bars still that work with the high mount exhaust. You have to get a low mount. And obviously I love Kaufman's, so that was a no-brainer. But also, look at how far it's tucked in to the bike. I can't even see what I'm looking at. Damn, I gotta get a better angle so I can see what the camera's seeing. Yeah, there you go. Most of the low mounts still stick out to friggin' like here, but this one's so tucked in that if I drop it, the exhaust should be good. I definitely would not recommend, though, your first heat cycle on a new exhaust being riding it through salt water. It's looking a little ugly, but you know, you live and you learn. Someone said, I'm 5 foot flat. I can't touch the ground on a stock Grom. Yeah, Groms are actually taller than people realize. The seat height's like 30 inches, 31 inches, something like that. This is actually the low seat from Saddleman. So it sits at, I think, like an inch or two lower. I don't need a low seat, and I've been thinking about swapping it out because I'm a little cramped with the low seat, but it just looks so damn good. You know? It looks so good that why wouldn't I? This thing's heavy, though. My little baby stoppies are going to suffer. Same height as my CB300F. Ow. Yeah, it's crazy. The Grom actually is the same height as lots of the bikes like the CB300F and stuff like that. Don't get me Legos. That shit took so long. Nina said she's 5'2". I thought you were 5'2 and 3/4, babe. A CB300 with Grom front tires and forks and rear tire and swing arm. That's crazy. I can't even imagine what that would look like. It's almost like 300 swapping a Grom, but bigger, you know? All right, well, that install was... Can you guys hear that? There's an owl yelling its face off outside. All right, anybody got any questions, any Q&A? Get that rolling again, since that was the easiest install ever until I figure out the license plate. I'm gonna be doing dank nooners by dank noon tomorrow. Oh, you guys heard it? Yeah, that was an owl. Was that an owl or a small child? So it was I think it started out as a fox and then an owl responded. Normally when it's like that screaming sound, that's a fox. And then it sounded like like an owl responded. What kind of Lego motorcycle do you want? No. No. Why does it feel like I have... Because I do. What? How long? Packaging tape? A small piece of packaging tape on my elbow? How long has that been there and where did it come from? What the? That's crazy. And when she's sick, you crazy mean to the sulking COD zombie that was previously a 90-year-old man and smoked for 47 years. When are we 300 swapping the Grom? Never. Grom for life. I don't want to put a 300 in it. They are cool, but you know, I'm a wheelie boy now, so can't really be putting a heavy motor like that in my Grom. Unless, no. I don't think I need to be doing the speeds that 300 swapped Groms do on a Grom. Doesn't sound like fun. 100 miles per hour on 12-inch tires. Pass. How long until I bust my ass? Hey, that's mean. Don't say that. I would give myself until November because that's when I'm getting health insurance. Rated Rob, I got a SCL 500 a few weeks ago. Hell yeah, congrats. Are you loving yours as much as I'm loving mine? The CL 500 honestly is becoming my go-to bike. I feel kind of sad like every time I have to walk past the Rebel 1100 to take the SCL 500 out because up until now I've had the Rebel 1100, but then everything else has been like mini motos. Even the XR, I don't take that on longer trips, but now if I'm going on like riding back roads or doing whatever like local stuff, the SEL 500 is so much smoother in lower RPMs. It's lighter, it handles better. So I just always end up taking the SEL 500 and I feel like the rebels sitting in the corner like, what about me? No Africa Twin. I don't like Africa Twins. If I got an adventure bike or like an adventure style bike, it would probably be the 10 or A700. Africa Twins are so friggin' big and I'd never use it to its full capabilities. And for the money, I could get 3 other bikes that I would want. To sing my heart said, "Congrats on getting insurance. Don't jinx it. I haven't gotten it yet, and I have a feeling that once I look at the prices, I probably will not get it." You know, it's crazy. It's almost like the system in America is designed to keep us as corporate slaves working for other people our entire lives, because as soon as you start working for yourself, it's like you can't afford health insurance and suddenly you get taxed more. And, it's crazy. It's almost like they wouldn't do that to us, would they? Strategically put things in place to make sure that like everyone is just stuck as a corporate slave for the rest of their lives and they have to just like, do the whatever game plan the government wants out of us. That would be crazy. uh, what do you mean Africa Twin is totally cheap? I hope that was sarcasm that I'm not reading through the thing. Hey, glad you're live. I literally just got home from picking up my Rebel 1100T. The thing is awesome, and I love the DCT. Hate if you want. LOL, you had a huge part of my decision to buy it. Thank you. Hell yeah, that's awesome, dude. Congrats. I love the 1100T. And since you just got in here, you missed the part where I was talking about potentially getting a DCT 1100 myself. I definitely see the merits in DCT. People do hate on it, but I think DCT is sick. Steven, what's up? They absolutely would do that. Yes, they would. Arbiter, I just watched a Grom Kaufman sound video. I love the sound. It keeps the Grom's higher pitched, throaty sound. Yeah, the Kaufman's is honestly the best exhaust I've heard on the Grom, and I was really worried about it. If I'm being honest, I was really concerned about getting it because it looks like such a small muffler. And my neighbor has a Grom that has like one of the Amazon shorties on it, and that has a big muffler on it, but it is loud as hell. And my buddy Eric has one that has the same exhaust on it, and it is loud as hell. Like I can't hear my bike over his when I'm 20 feet behind him loud. Like we ride and I think people are calling the police on us loud. And I was afraid that that's what would happen with this. But whatever silencing system they use in it, it is perfect. It's like my Yoshi that I had on there had the silencer in it, and I would start it up and I would like question if it was running sometimes. It was so quiet. When you got riding, it would get like loud enough, but when you just started up, you could barely hear it. This is like just a hair louder than the Yoshi, but deeper than the Yoshi. And it's like the perfect volume, which makes me realize now again how freaking loud the Navi is. The Navi is so loud in comparison. And I wish that somehow this could be on the Navi because I don't understand how, even with a spark arrestor in the exhaust, my Navi is so loud. But this is like the perfect pitch and perfect volume for me. I'm sure it would be insane taking the silencer out, so I'm not going to do that, but yeah, I love it. Man, I never thought I'd enjoy the XR150L as much as I do. The style of the bike never interested me, but the riding position, not slowing for speed bumps, hooligan stuff, I totally, yeah. Dude, the XR150 is so fun. Oh, here's an idea that I can run by you guys. Let's say, hypothetically speaking, I found a cheap XR150 and I bought it and I did a giveaway on Patreon. Would anybody care about that? I'm not saying I'm going to. I'm not saying that I found one or anything, but hypothetically speaking, if I happen to find not cheap, but cheap enough that the idea went through my head, like one of those things like, "Oh, any entries, any dollar amount that you pledge to Patreon from November until the end of December, each dollar is an entry." And then I give it away. Like, what? Not saying it's gonna happen. Not saying I have the money to make it happen, but how would people feel about that? Dom, what's up, dude? What is poppin', my guy? Oh, Moto Dash, they get medical and your motorcycle insurance. Yeah, I checked and I do have it. I don't think it's super high though, but I do have it. I actually checked because of that, and me realizing that if I'm going to have a medical expense, it's most likely going to be on my bike. Knock on wood that I don't have any medical stuff. But yeah, I checked and I do have it. I think it's set to like $30,000 per occupant or something like that. I forget. Whatever it was, I was like, I should probably up that. Um, Somebody said that's funny. The Navi's loud for a 110. The Navi is so freaking loud for a little 110 scooter. It is so freaking loud. Preston said I need it for saddlebag clearance. Yes, you do need a Kaufman's for saddlebag clearance. It is so nice having those big saddlebags on the Rebel 1100. See, Preston said take the silencer out and you basically have a $200 muffler tip. And that's what I thought until I got the Kaufman's, but it's actually not. It's like it still has baffling inside of it without the silencer. Like I had the Shorty GP, the $70 one on my Rebel 500 and 1100. And I was always that guy that's like, why would you ever pay the extra money, dude? It's $60. Just get the Shorty. But no, it sounds so much better, even with the silencer out. Like, oh, Dom is in here. He's the one that was in the video when we put the Kaufman's on his 500 and Nina's 300. The Shorty does not sound anywhere near as good as the Kaufman's without a silencer in it. I'd say probably almost the same volume, but it just sounds so much better, so much more refined, and just it's so much nicer. Lots of people are saying yes to the hypothetical XR150 thing. So, hypothetically speaking, Fran, I was trying to figure out the yearly subs thing. I think for the yearly subs, I would take into account whatever tier you're at. So, say that you're in the $11 tier. If I did it for 2 months, you would have 22 entries, which would work out for the people who are already yearly, because even though they're in the $11 tier, they're probably technically only paying $9 or $10 because of the discount for doing it yearly. Or if they do it yearly, I don't know. I was trying to, because I was thinking like if somebody joins Patreon just for the thing, if they do a yearly subscription, should I give them the full 12 months worth because they paid for it? And that would be like kind of the caveat, because everyone else that I've seen do it hasn't had the yearly option. My cat is in my exhaust, sadly. Only reason I haven't gotten a slip on. Yeah, Nina's cat was in her exhaust also, and surprisingly, the Kaufman's isn't ear-ringingly loud. Somebody said, is Quasi doing okay? For anybody who's just joining, I'll give the quick synopsis again. Quasi's good. Definitely has some healing ahead of him, but nothing broken. Just some bulge discs in his back, strained muscles, lots of bruising. He'll be out of work for a while as he heals up, unless he can get his truck running so he can go there. But obviously, he can't ride to work. So, yeah. So GoFundMe is in the description. Somebody intentionally hit him on the highway, and they got arrested for vehicular assault and battery. So Quasi's in the hospital right now. No broken stuff, which is good, but definitely beat up. Preston said, I want to do another big trip up to Maryland. That's why I got the Kaufman, so I could have those big old saddlebags on there. I have a 1980 CX 500C now. I might like to ride it up next meet. Oh, that's dope. I didn't know you got that. Next meetup will be in spring, if you wanted to try and plan that out sometime around end of April, beginning of May, probably. Rated Rob said, what bike was he on? He was on his brand new Royal Enfield, and it's totaled which sucks. He just got that and he loved it. Oh man. All right. Anybody got any questions before I probably wrap this up? Because I got to put all my stuff away. Sign up for Patreon so I can afford a garage. Because doing this in the house and having to clean everything up every time and losing tools every time because I don't know where anything is sucks. Also, you guys don't know this, but I found the perfect garage. Literally 5 minutes from my house, $700 a month. It's like 3,000 square feet. Is it that big? Like 3,000. I said 3,000. That's why it sounded wrong. 300. Holy crap. It's like, yeah, it's like 10 by 30. It's perfect. And I'm a dumbass. And I was considerate. I went to look at it and I was like, yeah, like he goes, so I emailed him from my LifeOfBurch Gmail, and he's like, yeah, I was wondering what Life of Birch was, so I looked it up, and you have a YouTube channel. That's pretty cool. I'm like, yeah. And I'm talking to him about it, and I'm like, yeah, like probably film a video once a month in here working on a bike or something, as long as you're cool with that. He's like, yeah, totally. He was fine with it. He gave me the paper to fill out for the lease, and I got home, and 15 minutes later, he texted me and said, hey, I talked to my wife, and we're not comfortable with you using this for business purposes. I'm like, dude, business purposes. I'm literally using it for the intended purposes. I just said that I was going to film a video in here once a month. It's perfect. It's literally a 3-car garage with like an old drill press that still works. It's heated. It has a bathroom in it. It literally has this like old school ghetto, like dugout with concrete steps going down to where you can back a car over it and walk under it to work on your car like they do at Pet Boys, like the little like underneath type thing, like not a lift, but you just walk underneath the car. I could have fit 12 bikes and the Miata in there. And I was so close, $700 a month. And then his wife said that she didn't want me using it for business purposes, aka filming one video a month. Freaking whack. I even responded and I was like, dude, I don't know what you think business purposes are, but here's a link to my channel again. Here's a link to one of my install videos that I filmed in my last garage. I'm like, I can give you contact info for everyone I've ever rented from, whether it's a house, a garage, whatever. And he just didn't respond. I'm like, dude, it was perfect. So, yeah. Life sucks and you die, I guess, But I have backup plans. I don't have money for the backup plans right now, but come next year, I have backup plans. So we'll see. If I could only have one, would it be the XR 150 or the Grom? It would be the Grom for sure, hands down, no questions. It would be the Grom. The Grom's build quality is just so much better. I love the XR. I hate carbureted things. I want as few carbureted things as possible. I don't want carbureted things. I don't want to deal with carbureted things. I don't want it. The Grom, I could leave sitting for 6 months, not on a trickle charger. I hit the button, and first try, it starts right up and runs like a top. It's great. But the XR, I looked up the stats. The XR's ground clearance is, what was it? I think the Grom's ground clearance is like 4.7 inches, I think. And the XR is 9.6, so it's like more than double. So that's dope. But yeah, I would go Grom. Although, see, this is where I overthink things. If you're saying a regular human being, if they could only have one bike, one motorcycle, period, and would that bike be a Grom or an XR? Then I would do more of a deep dive. What kind of riding they need to do? Maybe the XR because it's more capable. But for me, if I had a choice, I would say the Grom. But if I had a if I had a choice and I could only pick one, and it was my only bike that I could have, just because I'm me, I would pick the XR because the XR gets way more views than the Grom does because the Grom's been around so long. Nobody cares about the Grom. There's so much content about it. That's why I did this little install like this instead of doing like a stunt build video because nobody's going to watch it. Those videos have been out for a decade. So if it was one of those things where it was like, all of your money is erased. Your house is gone, and you can only have one motorcycle, and it has to be the Grom or the XR. I would keep the XR because I would know that that was a better return on my investment, and those videos would do better, and I could make that money back sooner to get money to then buy a Grom to then make more videos. That's the way my brain works, anyway. Everything either makes you money or loses you money, you know? Manual or auto trans in cars, what's better? I don't think there's a definite answer on that. Manual is more fun, automatic is more convenient. I would hate to do a road trip in my Miata and get stuck in traffic. It would be hell. But I would hate to do a track day in my Acura because it's automatic and it's big, you know? All right, well, I'm going to get out of here. I'm sleepy. I've been running around nonstop. Been going and going and going all day. I'm going to go stare at the wall. So good night. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Quasi, we love you. We're praying for you. We're thinking about you. Everybody check out the GoFundMe. Everybody send him well wishes. And everybody hope that the 90-year-old man in my bedroom, which sounds weird, might even sound weirder saying that it's my girlfriend, starts feeling better. And that she's not up all night hacking up a lawn. Okay. Well, I love you guys. See you.